Hi, welcome back. Your questions, your money. We got 15 minutes left, and we got Shelly from California calling in asking about a small business from home. Shelly, what's your question?
My question is, I've been collecting fine vintage products for 30 years now, and I have enough inventory to fill a small warehouse. Wow. I just have about anything you're looking for, can find it. But my question is, how do I find my market from a home-based business?
Who wants to jump it?
I would start with forums that are about your particular product in the area that you're in. Myself.
What was it that you collected again?
Well, I collect everything. I collect good old pottery, Barbie dolls, all kinds of vintage dolls, good sculpture, expensive fabrics, good art. So I've got everything. You name it, I have it, or I can find it.
You know what, Shelly, one thing I would do is narrow it down to 5 categories and then go to groups.yahoo.com and type in the names, groups.yahoo.com, and type in the names of those categories. And then post to those forums and begin to get people to know about you. And then as you start to develop your business model, you'll already have an inherent group of people, because you're answering a lot of these people out there. They want to know, you know, I have this Barbie doll. How do I identify it? And I know that one because my mother asks those questions all the time. I have this Barbie doll. How do I identify it? When you become the educator of those people, they're going to start to follow you when you create your business. So I would jump into forums.
Okay, and the forum, is that F-O-R-U-M?
Yep, F-O-R-U-M, and it's groups.yahoo.com.
Okay, groups.yahoo.com. Okay, I've got that.
Good.
All right.
That's it?
Yeah,
well,
that's
where
the place
I would
to start.
Yeah.
Well, let me just say this before I get off the line. I was listening to the program. This is the most outstanding and innovative program I've seen in years. And I was listening to some other folks, and they were talking about eBay, WEB 2.0, link, Twitter, Facebook, podcast, and direct mail. Would those all be something that would be something that I would look into outside of a forum group?
Yep,
I say go for it.
Absolutely, and you'll also want to create a blog and start blogging every week about your finds and the things that you find interesting and get a following there. But you may even be able to start to sell on eBay. The fees are pretty high right now, but maybe even create an eBay store as the beginning of your business.
Oh, good. That's great. Well, I am so glad I waited.
We are too. Good luck.
Thank you.
John we want to go to another quick call. John is calling from Illinois. John, go ahead. What do you want to know?
I have a small business, and I want to expand my small business. And I own the property, and I have some property that's next to it. And I want to raise capital off the property that's next to it. It's got a lease. Someone's leasing the property, a long-term lease. So I want to know, where would I start looking for capital? Because the merchandise that I need to buy, I could buy it at 20% less than what I'm paying if I pay at the door.
Joe, did you hear that question? I want you to weigh in. We left you hanging out there, my man.
Hey, it's been a great show and great conversation, so I've enjoyed it. Nothing like learning something while you're working.
Amen.
I think the point is, when you look at the lease next door, that long-term lease, you've got to look at that as a receivable. And there are people who will literally give you money up front if that is a good receivable. You have two forms of capital or collateral there. One is the value of the land, but the other is that incoming receipt, as long as it's leased out from a good company. You may not be able to go to an ordinary bank to get a loan on that, but there are factoring companies that will loan money against receivables. There's also companies that will loan money against future payments as well.
Okay, and where would I start looking for them type of companies? What would I look under? Do I go to the internet and look? Or
fortunately, God made Google. And you know, you go in and you type in Google, and factoring is one of the words that you want to look for. And if you type it in, but you can actually go in and just type your request. You know, lease payments and revenue, things of those natures. It'll pop up plenty of choices. In a half an hour, my friend, you will have an answer that will probably work for you.
Okay.
Hey, Joe, just quickly, you're a small business, too. I mean, we always come to you for personal finance advice, but you're a small business as well. I mean, what are you doing? Are you considering expanding in this market? People are looking for financial advice right now more than ever.
Yeah, we've actually, there have been more people in my industry that have left this year than last year. And so what's happened is there's a lot of people that are out there that we refer to as orphaned. So you've got to take the dynamic of what you do, whether it's my business or any business, I think, and understand whether you're the absolute best provider of that service, because the internet will track down the best people, whether they're in Anderson, Indiana, or whether they're in Manhattan or Silicon Valley. They will find you. Or you have to offer the broadest basis of surface and get to the end provider. So we try to focus on one end. I want to stay away from the direct mail and the things that cost. What we try to do is to provide our content. And as one of your hosts said earlier, it was on Facebook today that I was here. We put it out on Twitter that I was here. That's what we do, just getting people to know where to find us. And the wonderful web is just a great place to get your message out. You either want traffic or eyeballs. We're at yourlifeafterwork.com. It makes sense. People know what it means. They can find us, and we continue to build our story that way. And I think you have to understand right now, for a lot of people, we're planting. We'll harvest later. But you want to have business that's coming in today, and you want to have business that's coming in the future. And that's why it's so good to have the crew of people I think you do on the show today to talk about that whole broad base. But it is so true. People think you have to have $1 million to start a business, and you don't. But you have to be willing to be tight, and don't spend a dime on overhead you don't have to spend.
You got to plant. That's what it comes down to.
Wise words, my man. Thank you. We've got, a few minutes left. We got to take a quick break. Stay with us, everybody.